It's hard to have a conversation about police-community relations in Central Illinois and not talk about 5 police-involved deaths in Peoria since 2017. The events sparking debate in the community about policing.
And as we've seen, regardless of the circumstances, it impacts the community and the police.
But it also impacts the families who find themselves looking for answers and change. Keandra Fluker and Anita Johnson, sister and mother of Peoria men who died in police-involved situations, both clinging on to who they remember their loved one to be.
He was a comedian, and he was a family person. There was not a family event that he wasn't a part of.
He has an 11-year-old daughter. He didn't miss a beat when it came to her. That was literally our best friend.
But now they are forced to grapple between who they knew and the circumstances surrounding their deaths as their stories play out in public.
A nightmare, that you never wake up from.
Johnson's son, Eddie Russell Jr., was shot and killed by police in September of 2017 following an hours-long standoff at his mother's home. He was suspected of an armed robbery earlier that day. Court records show Russell Jr. had a history with mental illness, and his mother says police knew that. The coroner says that David Smith died of a medical emergency while in police custody last October.
Do you want to go to the hospital and get checked out?
Video shows him unresponsive and incoherent. Police calling paramedics to check him out, who then released him back to the officers. He, too, accused of an armed robbery that day.
How do you justify seeing those images and those situations, those series of events, and then saying, as you're saying, but still, my son, my brother, did not deserve to die in the way that it did?
They had a right to appear in court versus being sent to the morgue.
We would just like to have had the justice system work for us. We would have liked to see a trial. We would have liked to see them stand before their peers to be proven innocent or guilty. That's what we'd like to see.
In June, the Peoria police chief and the union wrote a letter to the community denouncing the actions of the Minneapolis police officers involved in the death of George Floyd, saying they were shocked and appalled. The letter also acknowledging protest in Peoria over 5 police-involved deaths in recent years, including Russell Jr. and Smith. Prosecutors ruling the officers did nothing wrong in both cases. The letter goes on to say no police officer comes to work and wants to be involved in a shooting or death, and the department is dedicated to protecting all members of the community.
I replay today every day. It never gets easier.
Both Fluker and Johnson believe things could have been handled differently given their relatives' physical and mental health. They say it's tough seeing what people have to say about them for defending their loved one.
I know personally when my brother passed away and things hit the media, it was a lot of people bashing. It was a lot of, we had people that felt sorry and we had people that bashed a lot.
They want to remind people it's not easy to lose a loved one, and they say they'll continue to be a voice even if people disagree.
I'm fighting for my son because I know that it's the right thing to do.
Now, a lot of people have thoughts about these cases. I wanted to show the effect on some of the families involved. Seeing the words police-involved death on a TV screen in the media can be triggering, even if the circumstances are not the same. Some other things to note: of those 5 police-involved deaths, the state's attorney's office ruled the officers justified in all but one. That case, a shooting in May, is still under investigation. Also, Peoria PD did not get body cameras until 2018, which was a year after the Russell case. Many people called for them in the spirit of transparency. They were available for the Daniel Smith case. Now, something else that Anita said that caught my attention, she said that a lot of people made it a black and white issue when her son died. She didn't want that. She says everyone should stand for what they believe is right, even if they don't agree, and race shouldn't divide us.